So many places to start. Where should I start? How about talking about some of those bump it up under 6.5s from last night? You want to know what bothered me the most about last night? It's not the thing that you'd probably think that it is. It was that rat bastard Jason Robertson. With 9 minutes remaining in the third period, in a game that was going exactly to the T, like I thought that it would, with the Dallas Stars up 3-1, when you you keep it simple, you don't do anything stupid to allow the other team back into the game, he takes just throw his stick out there, trip one of the Panthers, and then the Panthers go on the power play. It changed the whole complexion of the game. They score another power play goal, and they end up winning in regulation. He doesn't take that penalty. Maurice is a notorious early goalie puller. That game's 4-1, and take it easy. And that brings me to something that I've wanted to talk about. I've teased it for a while, and that's the clenched ass cheeks theory. And that's the theory that you saw good and well. I've been waiting for a game to see it. The clenched ass cheeks theory was exactly what you saw in the Carolina Rangers game. In that game, you had two teams with. This is what happens when a lot is on the line. Nobody wants to make the mistake that's going to cost your team the game. So what does that mean? Don't be that extra guy pinching. Don't give the other team an odd man rush. Just get it out, quick changes, and the clock evaporates. Throughout the course of that game, I live bet under 5.5, live bet under 4.5, live bet under 3.5, because when everything's on the line, nobody wants to make the Jason Robertson play. And come playoffs, you want to know who's not going to just lean his stick out there in the event that it might trip someone? Jason Robertson. The clenched ass cheeks theory is about all unders the more important the game is. When you get to a closeout game or you get to a pivotal game, a game 5, usually it's game 5s, 6, and 7s. It's always unders. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care the game you saw 4 years ago. I don't care your little stat. It's always under when the cheeks are clenched. And that was the definition. As far as that game goes, it's exactly what I told you guys would happen. 5-on-5, Carolina owned all the metrics. They controlled the play. Rangers just either had to win via Shesterkin or the power play. They won via Shesterkin, 1-0, and held on for dear life. Not surprised at that whatsoever. The Kraken game kind of pissed me off. 1-1 with like a minute left in the second period, and then just all-out ruckus ensues in the third to take that over. So that one was just the ending to the kind of night that it was. But every once in a while, you got to take the sweet chin music. You got to take it. I heard the band playing, and when Robertson took that penalty, I turned around, took it in the chin. Anyway, now we are on to Wednesday. We got 4 games on the slate, and the beautiful thing about the end of the year, I don't have to think anymore. I don't have to think, and neither do you. That's the beautiful thing. You might not need these videos, although I would prefer you to keep watching them and sharing them and liking them and commenting on them so that it helps grow. Or, like I said, you can be the miserable prick and do none of the above, but, you're a prick, I'm a prick, then we all end up pricks. Is that the world that we want to end up in? I don't know, but I'm going to end up in a world full of unders as we have all week, all month. That's it. It's you're not going to hear overs from me. You're just not. Like, there's one I'm tempted to take today. I'm not taking it. I have too much discipline. Too much is on the line. It's the last month of the season. No overs for me. But there are unders. You see any teams vying for the playoffs on this slate? Especially two teams that are playing each other? You guys know the first one. I don't even have to tell you. You got the Jets, who we love betting the unders at home. And they're welcoming in Nashville, who is playing incredible. And typically in these games, what do? We take Winnipeg. We take Winnipeg and under 7.5, or Winnipeg and we hold the other team to under 2.5. I'm not messing around with Nashville the way that they're playing right now. They're on some magical run. Even last game where you thought, okay, the Wild got them, they came back all the way at the end. And yes, they lost in overtime, but it's just not a team that I want to be messing with. And don't you know, bump it up. Yes. Oh, go ahead. You don't have to bet it. I will be betting it. The under 6.5 for the Winnipeg Jets and the Nashville Predators. Now, because of Nashville playing so well, I'm actually not messing with too many props within this game. I know sometimes when I go to FanDuel, it's not available the night before. Here's a great way to get the under 6.5 to plus money. If you go to FanDuel and you choose the under 6.5 in a same game parlay, and then you choose no goal in the first 5 minutes of the game, that will take that under 6.5 and bring it to plus money. That's a trick that I use many times. Games that I bet under, I find myself betting on FanDuel because they offer that no goal in the first 5 minutes feature. I know other websites and other sports books, they offer no goal in the first 10. I like the first 5. First 10 is too scary for me. But I always do it for the first period because you start without a power play. They offer it for the second and third, but I don't mess with that because what if the team takes a penalty with 10 seconds left at the end of a period or something like that? So that's what I like in that game. And then you see another two teams who are fighting for the playoffs. And I know one team is on the outside looking in, but they're close to that wild card. They're on like opposite sides of the wall in Game of Thrones. One's like the Night's Watch and one's the Wildlings. One's on the inside of the wall, one's on the outside of the wall, but they're both right next to it. And that's the Kings and the Blues. And I know we took the under in the Blues game the other night, and it was actually, we had to sweat it out. It was a 5-1 final. But before that, as I mentioned before that Blues-Bruins game, you were getting 2 or fewer for like 2 straight weeks from the Blues. But this is more about the Kings. The Kings, they just play lockdown defense. They don't run and gun, and they're trying to win all these games in a low-scoring fashion. They shut out the Islanders 3-0 the other night. Before that, it was a 3-1 loss to Dallas. So it's all these grinding, low-scoring games with the Kings. So I'm going to go with the under 6.5 in this one as well. And you can use the same FanDuel trick of no goals in the first 5 minutes with the under 6.5 to bring that to plus money. Also, if you need a prop or something, on DraftKings, I'm going to do neither team gets to 5 and the under 2.5 shots for Quentin Byfield. It's an under alteration. You know, you can get a 4-3 final and still cover it. Then these two later games are a little bit different. I'll tell you this right now. I mean, it's a huge price. You always got to be hesitant when you're taking the Oilers against some of these bad teams. But man, is this a bad matchup for Washington. For slow, old Washington to play Edmonton in Edmonton. Oh my God, this is just such a bad matchup. I will be pretty shocked if Washington wins this one. They just got shut out in the last game against Winnipeg. How about this? Take the Edmonton money line and combine it with either one of those, bump it up under 6.5. That will take either of those parlays to plus money. And then in the last game, this is the real interesting one. This is the one where I know you probably want to take Colorado again. That was one of the good Dan things from last night. But Vancouver is another Stella who's got her groove back. And she's been playing great lately. And I've been noticing a couple players. Pettersson's starting to find his name up and down that score sheet. You guys remember earlier in the year, we nailed so many of those Pettersson point props and whatnot. And on the Colorado side, one of the things I told you guys yesterday, throughout the day, is when you got to follow up and see what's available to you. Is there anything that you can have a distinct advantage on because of news that came out during the day? Well, yesterday during the day, it was announced that Arturi Lehkonen, he was sick, so he wasn't going to play in that game. And then Val Nichushkin got the power play 1 bump, and he got bumped up to the top line with McKinnon and Rantanen. What did that mean? Multiple points for big Val Nichushkin. I communicated that with everybody on the Patreon, and I think he's another guy who we can target for a point here. I want to go Nichushkin and Pettersson both for points. And how about we do it? How about we go Nichushkin for 2 and we go Pettersson for 2? Been a little while since we took a stab at one of those. And just in case this game is a little higher scoring, because Thatcher Demko is actually out for a couple of weeks, so we'll be looking at Casey DeSmith. And we'll be having one of these backup situations. And you think that means nothing. How did Vladar look last night opposed to Markstrom, who didn't play? That was another piece of information that I had to relay last night, because Markstrom, I guess, is, I don't know, nursing some sort of minor injury, so he's out for a little bit. So I guess keep that in the back of your head for the next time that Calgary plays, and maybe take some player props on the other side of that. That's what I have for you here on a Wednesday. We got 4 games, couple things to work with, couple unders, and then some points in this later Colorado game. We will see how it goes. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Do me a favor, like I mentioned before, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel here. Click the bell for anything you know to help the algorithm. I'm not studying the algorithm. I'm just trying to create good stuff, but I've been told that you guys got to click buttons for this stuff to be seen by more people. So hopefully you guys can do me that favor. And if not, whatever, we just go back to our prick ways. I will see you guys tomorrow. And always remember, if you want the additional parlays and any sort of information relayed, I put that stuff throughout the afternoon on the Patreon. You can subscribe to patreon.com/AndyFrancis. I always leave the link down below in the description of this video. And then my face comes up at the end of the videos on like a $100 bill. You can click that and it will take you there. I'll see you tomorrow for a full Thursday slate. Later.